Welcome to the Purpose Cycle podcast. This podcast helps listeners realize and manifest their dream lives. Here's a little taste of what we've got in store for you today.
I thought to myself, there's no way I'll ever be able to teach a class. I won't have the confidence to do that. But step by step, I built up the confidence, started teaching classes, and I was like, this is my dream. I can help other people battle anxiety. They've helped me more than they'll ever know. Like, the constant praise, the constant thank yous, the sharing my stuff on social media, they don't realise what that does for me and my confidence. If you wake up feeling negative and telling yourself that you're going to have a bad day, then you will. Wake up and say, I'm going to have a really good day today, and pick out the positives in the day.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of the Purpose Cycle podcast. My guest today encourages people to express themselves through her love of fitness. Her enthusiasm shines through in her workouts, and she's a huge advocate of the positive effects on mental health that exercise has to offer. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome this week's guest, Sophie Godson. Sophie, how are you doing today?
Hello, I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
No, it's great to have you on. Obviously, being in Beverley myself, I obviously see all of the work that you're doing around the community and how your fitness company is launched, and and the great strides you're taking really to making sure that you spread that message. So it's great to have you on, and I hope that listeners who are tuning in now can access that message from anywhere in the world.
Thank you. Yeah,
okay.
Thank you very much.
So to start off with then, could you just tell the listeners a little bit more about yourself?
Okay, yeah, so probably around 6 to 7 years ago, I was a dental nurse and I didn't really do any fitness, and I was a really positive person. I'd have the mindset that everything happens for a reason and everything will turn out okay in the end. Anyway, and then one day I was like in the back of the car on the motorway, and my heart started like racing and I couldn't get it to slow down. And I started with these panic attacks, and it started happening on a daily basis, and it was unbearable. And I just thought, oh, one day I'll wake up and it'll all go away. It's like just a phase that I'm going through. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me, but it'll go away, it'll be fine. And I literally thought I was the only person on the planet having these problems. So I bottled all the problems up. I didn't speak about it to anybody. Anyway, months passed, and I was like, why have I still got these problems? Like, every day was a struggle. I was like barking on the way to work. I was having several panic attacks a day. Like, I'd have like a big nervous rash all the way up my face. And I coped with it for a good year. And then one day, like I had to manage the phone on my own at work. And I broke down into tears, and I rang my parents, and I was like, I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, my heart keeps racing. I don't want to be here anymore. My mindset's changed. I'm really negative, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, they took me to the doctors, and I got diagnosed with anxiety. And I was like, what the hell is that? Like, I had no idea what it was. So I was Googling it, and I was like, how can I get better? And I realised that there wasn't really a quick fix. And I felt really stuck, and I was just like, oh, and I tried all sorts of medications, and they helped me in some ways, but they all came with side effects. And then I was like, right, I need to join the gym, because I read on Google that exercise was really good for mental health. So I was like, right, okay, this is apparently going to get rid of my anxiety, so let's join a gym. And I remember having my induction, and they check your pulse, they check your blood pressure and stuff. And he was like, have you run here? And I was like, no. And he was like, well, your heart rate's really fast. And I was like, I'm having a panic attack. I really don't like it. I was like, I'm really uncomfortable. Like, I've really stepped out of my comfort zone coming to the gym. Anyway, I did it. It was like a massive thing for me, and I did it. And then, like, the more I went, the more I started to feel happier, and I started to enjoy it. And I met people that had the same mindset as me and stuff. And then I started talking about it. and talking to friends, and then I tried hypnotherapy as well, and that was amazing. And I just found that fitness literally healed me. It made me feel happy, and it made me better. And if I had a really stressful day and my anxiety was really bad, I'd go to the gym and I'd feel better. And I was like, this is great. So I like took myself off the medication, and like it wasn't like a quick fix, it was a gradual thing. And I've become like seriously addicted to the gym. Like literally I thought, if I don't go to the gym, I'm gonna feel really low. So I used to go every morning and every night, and I used to spend about 3 hours there on a night. And I'd become really obsessed, and I lost way too much weight, and I looked really unhealthy. So I was like, oh, what can I do now? Like, I want to learn about nutrition and stuff, because I'm starting to look really, really thin, and people are saying they're concerned about me. But I was like, I don't know why, because I'm really happy. And then I became a fitness instructor, just to literally learn what was good and what, you know, the balance and things like that. And then I thought to myself, there's no way I'll ever be able to teach a class. I won't have the confidence to do that. But step by step, I built up the confidence, started teaching classes, and I was like, this is my dream. Like, I can help other people battle anxiety. But it was really hard, because you do the class and then you go home and you don't really have that connection with people. So obviously when we went into the first lockdown, I was like, oh no, my mental health's going to suffer, and millions of other people's mental health's going to suffer. I'm going to have to do something. So I decided to I started by filming a few workouts for YouTube. And the feedback I got, everyone was like tagging me in sweaty selfies, and it just went wild. And I said to Gary, my partner, I was like, do you think I should like set up a group on Facebook and start teaching classes live? And he was like, well, your YouTube's working, like, why don't you just give it a go? You've got nothing to lose. Anyway, I set up this group, and it just went from there. And like literally I didn't plan any of this, and it's just gone really well. And now I'm here.
Amazing. Yeah. And here to share the story as well on the podcast. Brilliant. There's so much as well from that story that I feel like listeners will be able to resonate with as well. And I found it really refreshing how you brought up the anxiety and how that happened, because and how you kept it to yourself for almost a year, because really I think quite stereotypically at the minute, especially in the field I'm in, I only really hear about how males find it really hard to talk and open up about the feelings, and that, generally, according to different sort of stereotypes, like I say, women are fine and they can talk about their emotions and open up, but actually it's not a gender specific thing. It comes down to the person. So, I mean, how difficult was that then for you to sort of take that step to speak to somebody about how you felt?
Sitting in that doctor's surgery with my dad next to me, I literally felt like I'd let him down. I was like, I don't know what's wrong with me. But I'm no disrespect to doctors and stuff, but I'm quite frustrated that they literally just happily just give me some tablets and sent me away. And then I'd go back and be like, it's like I'm getting really bad headaches now. So they're like, oh, we'll put you on antidepressants as well. I was on beta blockers. Then they're like, oh, we'll put you on antidepressants as well then to get on top of the headaches. And I was thinking, what? So do I need to be on medication for the rest of my life? They never said you can get through this, you can get better. Like, I honestly believe that fitness classes are, access to something like going for walks or anything fitness related should be on prescription before you even try medication. Because if they said you need to join a gym, you need to exercise, I probably wouldn't have even needed to take the medication. But I think they're so used to dishing out tablets and stuff. That's what I was given. But knowing what I know now, like, I could have managed it myself if I knew exactly what each symptom was. Like, I used to feel like I was on a boat all the time. Like, I was swaying and I felt like I had to hold on to things. And like, if I was queuing in a queue in a shop, I had like a panic attack because I couldn't hold on to anything. It was really bizarre. And then when I learned about my symptoms and stuff, I realised it was just my blood pressure going up and down. And if I knew that, I wouldn't be like now, if I start with a little bit of anxiety or any symptoms, like, I don't get scared of it. I just deal with it. Like, I know what's happening to my body and it's nothing to be scared of. Whereas if you're new to it and you're having all these symptoms, like, you know, pounding chest pains, you feel sick, you're just going to automatically be scared and think, oh no, what's happening to me? But now I know each symptom, I deal with it.
I think the main theme of that is education, isn't it? So, and understanding the signs that come out with the various different conditions that you can go through. So
Definitely.
in terms of workouts with Sophie, then how does your experience with the understanding the signs and the education, do you delve into that, or do you have plans maybe to look in the next, I don't know, maybe open up a little bit more about those signs?
Yeah, absolutely. Like if I get someone who's brand new to fitness, I really lay it on thick that it's okay to start with one class a week. Because if they start and think they have to do all the classes in 1 week, they could feel quite disappointed with themselves because they're not going to manage it. You know, you've got to build your fitness up. And at first you do think, oh, this is a bit much. So I try and stress, look, it's not about how many calories you burn. It's not about how long you do the workout for. It's how you feel after it. So even if you just do 5-10 minutes of the workout, if your mood lifts and you feel better after it, it doesn't matter. See, they all compare like how many calories they burn on the group. And I just like leave them to it. I'm like, yeah, that's your thing. But it doesn't interest me really. Like, yeah, it's good, obviously, to burn more calories because it makes you fitter. But I literally do it to lift my mood. And if I want a longer rest, I'll just lay on the mat and I'm like, just continue. I'm just.
It's such a positive and refreshing way to look at fitness coaching, because quite a lot of the time, pretty much, I mean, fitness in general the fitness industry is a very saturated market in terms of different PTs everywhere on Instagram. But I haven't come across anybody who is solely, you know, looking out for the mental health side of things and improving, not looking at calories, looking at well-being. I find it so refreshing. Was there anybody that you came across in your aspirations to go into this that you thought was an inspiration to becoming a fitness coach?
Well, I used to, there was one class that I absolutely loved at Beverley Leisure Centre, and it was Body Attack. And it was literally like, it just felt like a little party. And the instructor, Adele, was fantastic. I used to just crave seeing her every week. And she was my inspiration. I was like, I want to be like her. I want to make all these people feel like I feel. And that's why I chose to do Body Attack, which is Les Mills. And absolutely loved every single class that I taught. I absolutely loved it. But then you're not allowed to teach Les Mills virtually. So that's why I was pushed into making my own classes. And that's why I've been doing HIIT training. But actually the HIIT training, I can modify that to every ability. Like literally Body Attack's quite an advanced class. And you do say to people, oh, you can just do half the class or a couple of tracks. But there's 30 people in the room. And if you're the only person walking out of that room, no one does it. And they think they have to stay for the full duration. But like the beauty of the online classes, they can do a 10-minute workout and I can't see them. And they can comfortably walk away from the class and feeling accomplished and not comparing themselves to everyone else. They are solely concentrating on their self and focusing on their own mind and their own body. And that's why I love the virtual classes.
Yeah, it's a great way of doing it and easing yourself into it. And hopefully then once all of this is over, we're able to then get together as a group. And it's great that they've got that initial community feel without actually having to go out and meet, because usually the first step is the hardest one. So you sort of break down that barriers in many ways. In terms of then, you mentioned in your opening introduction about your obsession with working out, and that sort of then sparked your aspiration to become a qualified fitness instructor.
Yeah.
So what were the ultimate goals for you? Did you envisage any of this sort of like long-term, making
Absolutely
it a long-term career?
No, like literally, I don't look into the future at all. Like this has literally just happened, and I believe it's happened for a reason. Like I believe that I was sent those struggles to experience so then I could literally help other people, because there is honestly, you won't believe how many people on my group that have got their own personal problems. They all message me directly and I feel so honoured that they trust me and they can open up to me. And yeah, it helps people in so many ways. It's like if you look at PTs on Instagram and stuff, all the pictures are before and after pictures, but that can be quite damaging. Like for me, my before and after picture, I'm smaller on the first one. And like when I became an instructor, I couldn't physically do 2 classes a day because you put so much power into teaching. Like if you do more than 1 class a day, you just injure yourself. Like I started getting injured and stuff. So I was like, right, I need to slow down and take rest days and stuff. And that's how I started to find the balance. And that's when I started to gain a bit of weight again and feel a bit like more stable and balanced.
Yeah, amazing. And I truly believe that purpose finds you, and hopefully listeners of this podcast will be able to sort of resonate with the fact that purpose finds you in areas of tragedy or triumph. So for you then it was that body sort of image of working out so much, having that obsession. I'd seen a post actually from your Instagram page about how you used to feel about working out and how that relationship with working out changed, and I found it really authentic and in a great sort of way of, I don't know, being vulnerable really, and showing people that it's okay to have these struggles. Why do you feel like it's so important to be authentic on social media?
I think it's like there's so much out there now of like influencers and celebrities, and they've literally got like millions and millions of followers. And I mean, each to their own, whatever they want to do. But I look at them and I think, oh, that picture could literally damage so many people's mind. And a lot of the pictures are so edited and I see pages as well that used to be like my Instagram page. Like if you scroll back on my Instagram page, my pictures, like I am disappointed in myself because they could actually be quite damaging. Like, to like thinking what I was like when I was 16. And I'm like, I did like sugar-free February and I was like, there's pictures of my abs on there. And there's literally, like, even when I bent over, I didn't even have a roll. I was so thin and I was so proud of it and I just wanted to show it off. But now I'm like, that's so damaging and it's not healthy and there's no balance. I didn't go out for meals with my friends. I didn't eat cake and like I'd go out for a coffee and they'd have cake and I'd literally just have like a coffee with no milk. Like I didn't have the balance of life. I cut out so much to look a certain way. And it's not all about how you look. I think the main thing is how you feel inside, definitely.
Yeah, and you sort of preach this on your website, don't you? You say 3 main areas really: teaching clients to love the body, making time for fitness, and feeling positive. I really like the make time for fitness mark, because another post from your Instagram, I sound like a bit of an Instagram stalker, but it's just a research for the show.
Go for it. I like it.
You said about 30 minutes of your day is 2%. And that really was a powerful thing for me, because at the minute I'm saying that my life's so busy. I'm getting in the process of moving house. I'm doing the Purpose Cycle podcast, and I just don't have time for working out. But actually, when I read that post, I thought, I definitely do. I've definitely got 2%.
You could do 1%. You could do 15 minutes, which is 1% of your day. 15 minutes. It's not much, and it'll literally lift your mood and set you up for the day. Or if you want to do it on the evening, it'll make you feel better if you've had a tough day. Like, honestly, science proves that it lifts, like, the chemicals in your brain, your happy chemicals come out when you exercise.
So here's a message from one of our new sponsors, True Form Clothing. True Form Clothing are a gym wear brand, and their focus is making sure that you can perform to the very best of your abilities whilst in the gym and provide comfort when you're not in the gym. The amazing range of men's and women's clothing that they have on offer is truly mind-blowing. So I very strongly suggest that you go and check it out using the link in my Instagram bio. And you can also get 10% off using the code JOHNT10. So that's JON, the letter T, and the number 10 to get 10% off, and it will massively help out the podcast as well. But the comfort, the style, and the performance all speak for itself. Really high quality clothing. Big thank you to True Form Clothing for believing in the podcast and deciding to back us as well. So go and check them out at trueformuk.com.
So how do you make time for fitness then? Do you structure your days pretty sort of according to a certain plan, or are you quite fluid and think, yeah, I'm feeling maybe a little bit down this morning, I'll work out now rather than prolong it. What's your sort of action towards it?
So at the moment, I've got like a timetable and I fit it around my work. And it does mean I have to like get out of bed quite early, which is a struggle. But it is so worth it. Like, you never ever regret getting up. When my alarm goes off, I'm thinking, oh, really? It can't be 6 o'clock. Seriously, it feels like about 2 o'clock in the morning. But like, as soon as I've had a coffee and I've got my gym outfit on and I go into the garage and I put that music on, I'm like, yeah, I totally forget about how I felt when I first woke up. So I do have to try and fit it in around, because I'm a full-time dental nurse and it's quite stressful at work at the moment. And sometimes if I've had the mask on all day, I do come home with a headache. And you think, when you've got a headache, you think, oh, I can't be bothered, like I don't have the energy. But it literally gets rid of a headache as well. So
yeah, fantastic.
I always feel better for it.
It's all about weighing up the benefits, and I spoke about this in terms of a habits podcast previously in the season about how a lot of people vote for the short-term the comfort, and I don't need to work out now, I can't really be bothered, I'm feeling quite safe. But actually, the long-term you will be so thankful for just pushing out of that comfort zone. In terms of your comfort zones, we'll move to the realization phase of the purpose cycle. And this is where you find obstacles and barriers towards what it is that you want to achieve. So upon starting workouts with Sophie, you mentioned about your confidence in teaching classes. So how important was it then to have the people around you, like your partner and your parents, to encourage you to take that step into that brave step into teaching classes?
So important. Like, when you suffer with anxiety and depression, even if you're the nicest person in the world, you still think that nobody likes you, and you still have that self-doubt, like, oh, did I upset so and so today? Did I say that? And you're constantly worried. So doing this, I was thinking, am I going to get on people's nerves? Like, is it going to be too much? Like, I'm going to have to post on social media quite a lot. But then they've helped me more than they'll ever know. Like, the constant praise, the constant thank yous, the sharing my stuff on social media. They don't realise what that does for me and my confidence. Like, I actually, like, this year, I'm like, oh my God, people do like me. Like, they do like me. They're not just like saying they do. But don't get me wrong, like, there was moments where I like, obviously I won't name anyone, but like, other instructors would give me a difficult time, saying, you shouldn't be doing it for free. Like, this is our main job and you're taking it away from us and all this. And I was like, oh, literally, I just want to save people's mental health. And there's so many people that have lost their job, they're furloughed, or, there's people at home, like single parents, and they don't have even £2 to do a class. Like, I need to do something. I need to save all these people. I just thought, there's thousands of people here. So I need to focus on them and try and ignore the like 2 or 3 people that, tried to step on my toes. And I'm so glad I did it now. I'm so glad, because I have helped so many people, and it's helped me as well. If I couldn't do, like, obviously we didn't know how long we was going to be in lockdown for, but if I couldn't teach classes for a full year, it's quite scary to think where I would be right now.
Yeah, well, it's obviously great to reflect, isn't it? And making that big step. I think that's one of the messages that people can get from that answer, that if you make the big step now, 12 months down the line, you don't know where you're going to be, and you'll think, wow, I'm so glad I took that chance. And I think maybe it's quite a lazy response from some of the sort of rival instructors who are trying to maybe knock somebody else down to make sure that they don't suffer, rather than going out themselves and thinking, actually, I've got a challenge here. What can I do? I read from Jamie Alderton, who I follow on Instagram, who's quite sort of big in the fitness world. And he said if every fitness instructor on Instagram had they could afford to have 534 clients for all of the people in the UK who are on Instagram, each 500 odd clients each. So it shows that there's people there, and that they just need to go out and find it. Yeah,
that's another thing that I've learned as well over the last 12 months is, like, I have met so many people in the same industry as me. Like, there's a girl called, you've probably seen her all over my post, a girl called Sam. And she sells products. So she sells booty bands and water bottles and resistance bands and stuff. And she messaged me and she was like, can I send you this band? no pressure, but it'd be really good if you used it in your classes. And we work so well together and we promote each other. And I've just learned that there's so many people, there's enough to go around. Like, promote each other, help your friends who are in the same position. Like my friend Emily, she focuses on pregnant ladies. So like anyone who's pregnant or asking about pregnancy, I'm like, go see Emily. And it's great that I've, you know, all the right people that want to help you come out in tough times like this, and we've all pulled together. And yeah, I think I truly believe that if you help other people, it does, you know, and if you do it, karma will get you. Like, it's good to help each other, what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, if you put a positive message out there, then it will definitely come back to you in some form of you know, making sure obviously you reap what you sow over the long term. And I've found that as well I've only been doing this since maybe January time this year, and posting these kinds of things out on Instagram has helped me massively as well, because I'm not using Instagram in a toxic manner anymore. I'm not just scrolling endlessly and just not really doing anything. I'm making sure that I'm trying to not build a business or anything, but really sort of build a platform in which a message can get out, a positive message. So, I mean, it's great that you're inspiring so many people as well. And the quotes and all of these things are massively powerful. So yeah, kudos for that.
Yeah, I think social media can be a really positive place to be. You've just got to look at who you're following. Follow people you can relate to. Follow positive people. Don't follow people that, you know, make you feel insecure and stuff like that. I think what you're doing is absolutely amazing. I had a real good look at your page yesterday, and I watched that video, one of the first videos that you posted with that interview with the two guys, where they were on about consistency, and then when they said about going to the dentist twice a year, and I'm like, yes, why do patients not realize that we don't just clean their teeth twice a year? You have to do it every day.
Yeah, so true. And if you're really consistent with your message and like you are, every single post is preaching what you are all about and your identity, then people will buy into that, won't they? Buy into that authenticity. In terms of then your followers as well, and the people who are obviously members of your program, how good is that accountability for you? Because I'm sure the members join so they have accountability on what they're doing, but it must be great because you have to get up and you have to make that class because there's people waiting for you. Is that a good pressure rather than a bad pressure?
I do worry that I'll sleep through my alarm one day. I'm just waiting for that to happen. I am really worried. I said to my sister, because she does my classes, if I'm ever like 5 minutes late to the class, just keep ringing me until I wake up.
Yeah.
But like my sister, you know Holly, don't you? My sister Holly, I'm so proud because like she would never see the morning for a class, but she literally doesn't miss a morning class. She's got Ollie, her boyfriend, involved. And it brings them together, makes them feel really good. They've got something in common. And she actually posted her first no makeup selfie on the group this morning. And I was like, oh, yes, yay.
So yeah, boosting that confidence for everybody as well. And like you said, it's such a great, I think with you know more about the benefits of exercise than me, but the endorphins that you get, it must build momentum going into your working life as well. So have you found that your productivity in just all around life has improved massively just from exercise?
Yeah, definitely. Like when I've done a workout in the morning, I fly into work and I'm like, morning everybody, and I'm like, oh, she's done a workout today, hasn't she? And they can tell the days that I've done a workout in the morning, because if I haven't, I go in and I'm just like, all right. And my mood, honestly, it's like high or low, and then they just know, they don't even have to ask anymore.
Yeah. So in terms of then this initial phase of beginning, what was the biggest obstacle, would you say, before starting this journey? So you'd already obviously worked out and you were quite active yourself, but I mean, going into workouts with Sophie and launching this is almost a brand, isn't it now? So how did that start, and what was the biggest obstacle that you had?
Okay, so one of my boyfriend's friends, he does graphic design and stuff, and he was like, do you want me to make you a logo for your free group? And I was like, oh yeah, go on then, why not? Because he's a school teacher and he was like off school. So he sent me this logo and I was like, oh, I love it. And I got it put on a vest, and then loads of people were like, can I have one of them vests? I was like, you're joking, what you want a vest with my name on. And I ended up selling like 60 vests. And I was like, that is crazy. The biggest obstacle for me was going from doing it for free, dropping all my face-to-face classes, like literally had about 6, and just like, you know, handing my notice in at all the gyms and saying, I'm going completely virtual.
Yeah.
And that was quite a big risk and quite a big step. And then I just kept, the sign-ups and the setups just kept rolling in. And then I made like 100, I got like 100 members in like a couple of days, and I'm still getting a couple of new members each week, and people are recommending people. And I was like, yeah, it was worth taking that step. And
Wow.
dropping my face-to-face classes. I mean, I'm not going to work for gyms anymore. I'm going to do it all for myself. Like, if I want to do face-to-face classes again, I'm going to hire a hall, and I'm just going to do it, you know, and be my own boss. And it was quite scary. And I thought, oh, am I doing the right thing? I had a conversation with my sister, my mum, Gary, and they were like, go for it, just do it. If your heart feels like you should do it, just do it. And my sister Faye, she's got her own business, walking dogs, and she was like, setting up on my own, like it was the best thing I ever did. Like, I've never looked back. So I was like, right, I'm doing it. And yeah, I'm so glad I did. It'll be interesting to see what happens when the gyms reopen. But I think doing a class before work wouldn't be as easy going to the gym, getting a shower at the gym, and you know, it's easy just rolling out of bed, doing your workout, and then going to work. So I'm hoping people will stay with me when the gyms reopen.
I'm sure they will. I think there's been a shift in focus, isn't there? Because people now know that it is actually possible to do workout at home. When I think before, everyone thought I have to go to a place that I associate with exercise in order to actually do exercise. But I think now you've sort of shown people, as well as obviously we'll get onto him shortly, but Joe Wicks and these other trainers have said, actually, you can work out at home and it's absolutely fine to do so. Because like you said, it's only a couple of % out of your day. And it's very doable. So yeah, I think it's a bit of a shift in what you're doing. And I'd just like to touch as well on the whole element of starting a business. I think this is the best time to do it because we've been gifted almost with this free time. It's about making what's a really tough and horrible situation into what can be positive. And you said about positive thinking. So what are the actual things that we can do? Well, we can control the fact that we can make use of our time, and the things that we can't control, leave it to the side. So is there anything really that, being a business owner now, you're struggling to get out, you know, of your head in terms of things you can't control? It might be that members might drop out all of a sudden, or, you know, any sort of bumps in the road. How do you get through that?
I am worried about when the gyms reopen and how I'll feel about teaching a class again face to face. I don't think I'll ever go back to Body Attack because I love making my own classes. The most positive thing I've got out of this is teaching people to exercise that have never even tried exercise before. I've got one girl who she's quite shy, and she admits, she won't mind saying this, that she admits that she wouldn't have the confidence to walk into a gym. She's got 2 children, so she literally doesn't have time. So she does the workout at home, and she's ended up, I know I don't promote weight loss and stuff, but her mental health was affected because of how she felt of, you know, weight gain, and she's lost 4 stone in a year. Wow. She's had the confidence, like she's got the confidence now to book her wedding. And when I did my own face-to-face classes when we came out of lockdown, she came to my classes, and I remember the first class I looked at, she was like, look at my hands, and she was literally shaking. And she was like, I've actually exercised for the first time in my life. I've had the confidence to book my wedding, and I've also had the confidence to come to a class for the very first time. And there's people who have got children who think they don't have time to go to the gym. And it's like, yeah, look after your children and stuff. But if you don't feel mentally well yourself, you know, it's going to affect how your children are. So focus on yourself as well as your children. And, you know, if you can fit in a 15-minute workout, even if your kids are running around, pick them up, use them as a weight when you squat. Like, it's fine. The most positive thing is actually getting people to exercise who never have exercised before, and they've realised they've got time, and they've realised they can do it as well. People are like, I'm not fit enough, I won't be able to do it. I'm like, have you tried? And then I'll push them to try, and they're like, oh my God, I did it. And I'm like, I told you.
Yeah, I think that positivity is infectious, and I think a lot of your mindset has shifted towards constant positive thinking, and I think it's brilliant. And we'll move now into the creation phase. So this is basically your day to day, what you're sort of doing. So obviously you're still working full time, but you're producing this content as well, and making sure that you're there for your members. So what's the we sort of break it down into 3 phases really: research, strategizing, and acting upon those. How are you preparing yourself for maybe the future?
Do you know what? I don't know. Like, I literally just see what happens, and I think I'm just taking every step, like, bit by bit. I'm worried about, you know, in the next couple of years, if I want children, like, every class I say, don't do this if you're pregnant. Like, if I fall pregnant, like, that'll probably be a bit of a barrier and a bit of a hurdle. But I'm like, well, I can still sit here and motivate. I can still teach a class and demonstrate the moves a couple of times. So that'll be an obstacle. I don't know, really. I don't really plan for the future. Like, none of this was planned. It's all just sort of fallen into place. A couple of people have asked if I'm doing, if I'm going to sell some clothing with my new logo on. But it's like having the time to, now I'm full time again, having the time to sit down and like work it all out and stuff. Because as my members know, like, my maths is terrible. I can't even count to 4 sometimes in the classes. So like the admin sort of side of things gets me a bit stressed. But I've got my friend James, who he's absolutely amazing. I know him from the gym, and he's seen me from going from an anxious, shy person to now, and he has literally been by my, I don't know what I've done to deserve him, has literally been by my side from the very beginning until now. And he, you know, if I'm panicking or stressed about something, I just message James and he sorts it like that, because he works with computers. He drove me to Manchester when I had to do my exam, and he like got enough people in the gym when I had to film my classes. And I honestly don't think that I'd be able to do it without him. He's absolutely incredible. Like, everybody needs a James. He's amazing.
It's incredible to have that support, isn't it? I think when people can see that you're a genuine person and that you've got a love and a passion for something, people will go out the way to help you as well. And it's about, obviously, you're spreading a positive message and you're helping others, so people will see that and want to help you as well. So it's so great to see. In terms of help, I obviously came across the help that you've received, the advice you'd received from a certain Joe Wicks. So tell me about that experience.
That was crazy. Right, the week he goes live most Thursday nights. If you want to speak to him, get on it Thursday night. And the week previous, I like did my makeup, I did my hair, put a real nice outfit on. I was like, I'm ready. I had my ring light. Oh, just knocked it. I had my ring light, and I was like, right, I'm ready. And I kept requesting, and he was like, no, not tonight. And then the following week, I was like, oh, I'll request. He won't accept it. And I was actually watching Gogglebox with Gary. And then it just, like, you know, when the ring goes, whoop, like when they accept, and I was like, oh my God. And like Gary ran into the kitchen. I had no makeup on, my pajama top on. I was like, and there was like over 1,000 viewers. And I was like, oh my God. That was just like pure luck, I think. But yeah, he's actually looking for someone to work with him, and I've applied. But you need a level 3 PT, which I don't have. I only have level 2. And I was like, I will do my level 3. I'm currently doing a children's fitness course. Yeah. I was like, you need to hire me.
Oh, well, hopefully he remembers the name as well. He gave you some great advice. And it just, sometimes it's those little words of encouragement that you can sort of take on and keep going when, you know, when challenges, like you said, when this lockdown ends and you might be getting a bit worried about what happens with the gyms opening. Yeah. You'll be able to take his words of encouragement and drive you forward. In terms of then, I know you say you don't plan too much into the future, but But we're going to go into the fruition stage, which is the final stage of the purpose cycle, and it's when everything that you're doing now sort of comes to fruition. It really. What are the future part? I think I've written down here online like pre-recorded courses so that people can access maybe a certain program that you develop. Is that something that you're looking to do in terms of designing your own programs and making yourself completely full-time away from dental nursing?
Oh, I don't know, because then if I do too much teaching, I become injured, and I quite like the balance of having. And I really love my work family. I love them to bits. Like I think if I did it full time, I'd be a bit lonely. Like I think I like a routine of going to work and having this as. I still see it as a hobby, even though I've set up my own business. I still see it as a hobby. Maybe in the future, drop a day, and do like a lunchtime class. But I'm also doing a children's fitness course because I want to help parents, show their children that fitness doesn't have to be a chore, and it's to make them feel happy. And I really want to stress that to parents. And I've learned so much on my course already, and like obesity is a massive problem. And children only have to do like a 10-minute class, because of their concentration, and they warm up really quickly and they cool down really quickly. And I'm like, oh, this is great. Like I can, stress to children as well and teach them about mental health and how to prevent it and stuff. Because I didn't even know what mental health illnesses was when I started with anxiety. So, that's right back for the future.
If we take that right back to the beginning when you mentioned about, having those symptoms on the motorway, children hopefully nowadays are getting that education so that they can recognize the signs. And obviously then after obviously sharing your story and others sharing theirs, will think, first of all, actually exercise, and maybe even use that as prevention rather than sort of acting and reacting to what they're having. Because I was so surprised when you mentioned about doctors just giving you medication straight away, because it seems like, again, I'm going stereotypical a little bit, but quite an American thing to just give medication for everything, when actually the natural remedies sometimes are the best ways to try. So it's hugely powerful. And also, as you've said, you don't necessarily have to give up your whole career and your work family just to focus on your hobby. You can keep it as a passion and also monetize it in a positive way and not think too much about a certain thing and see where the future takes you. So fascinating insight.
I'd love to be on prescription from the doctors. If any doctors listen to this, write me on your prescription pad. I will sort out their mental health.
Amazing. And I'd recommend any listeners as well. Yeah, if you are feeling and you're finding it a little bit tough and you need that sort of boost, really, definitely check out Sophie's content. It's brilliant, and it does lift your spirits. There's loads of free
stuff out there. Like my new business, they're paying for the live experience. Like there's still all the free content on YouTube. And I post little videos and stuff to help people stay motivated. So just
because my partner Sarah's dragged me in on a couple of classes, and I've loved it. I would definitely say access the lives if you can, because when they're on YouTube, especially, I just love the energy and just having a little rave whilst working out. It's brilliant.
I love it. I get so excited. It's quite, when I watch them back, I think, oh, calm yourself, cringe. I think, oh my God, Sophie. But I'm literally like, I forget absolutely everything around me, and I'm just in this little bubble. And sometimes I forget that people can see me and I'm like dancing around. But Sarah did quite a few of my YouTube when you was in lockdown at the beginning. Tagging me in selfies. How can you look that good when you've just done a 45-minute workout? She's like absolute flames at the end of it. I was like,
that's because I was around the corner just laying down on the floor, passed out from the workout.
Bodybuilding Warehouse is a nutrition company that offer a wide range of health products that will allow you to perform at your very best. Now, in terms of recovery, in terms of general nutrition, I believe that is the foundation to building a healthier life, both physically and mentally. And Bodybuilding Warehouse have you covered in all of those departments. Anything in terms of weight loss, muscle building, improving your sleep, improving your hydration, or just making sure that you recover, Bodybuilding Warehouse have you covered. Now, Purpose Cycle podcast listeners can get 10% off with the code BWPurpose. That is BWPurpose. Use the link on my Instagram page to go and check it out, please. It will massively help out the podcast as well. And thank you once again to Bodybuilding Warehouse for sponsoring the episode.
We'll have a couple of questions that I ask every single guest to finish with. And the first one is, what are the 3 values that you stand by?
So exercise to feel happy and protect your mental health. If you wake up feeling negative and telling yourself that you're going to have a bad day, then you will. Wake up and say, I'm going to have a really good day today, and pick out the positives in the day. And the third one is, it's okay to eat cake.
Brilliant. And I love that philosophy as well. It certainly is. How can listeners make the next 12 months their best yet?
So it's all about finding the balance. You know, a lot of people in January are like, right, I'm going to exercise 7 days a week. I'm going to cut out all sugar. I'm going to live off dust. No. Do something realistic. Look at your lifestyle and look at your plan and be like, right, where could I fit in 2 workouts a week? Start with 2. Start little. Don't throw yourself with all these challenges. Start little. Because your first workout, if you've not done exercise before, your chest's going to burn, you're going to ache, so you need to allow a couple of rest days. Keep at it for 6 weeks. If you can keep at something for 6 weeks, it becomes part of your routine, and you'll notice the benefits after 6 weeks. So just make a realistic goal, and it's okay as well if you do set a goal one day, if you're not feeling it that day, just start again the next day. Don't give in. Just keep at it.
Yeah, and I suppose that's a really powerful message as well. They actually just do it the next day, as in structure a bit of you time. And if you need to take a break, rather than kick yourself off, think that's it now, falling off the wagon, you could just say, actually, I'm going to control it and be in charge, and think, today I'm going to rest, and then tomorrow I'll be back on with it. And you've actually planned that in. So that's a good way of reframing it.
I always have like a massive list of jobs to do. Like, I've got 3 loads of washing to do. I've got my car to sort out. I need to do my online fitness course. But I don't think about it all at the same time. I think, right, today I'm going to make sure that I have a hot bath and listen to some music. And like, you've got so many days in the year. Why would you do it all in one day? Like, just think, right, I'm going to do my washing on Saturday. I'm going to clean my car next Tuesday. Like, it's fine. You can break it up. You don't need to do it all at the same, because then you'll instantly give yourself a headache. Like, people can get stressed about finding time for them, but it shouldn't be like that. You should, it should be a relaxing process. Like, right, I'm going to do that today, and that's okay that I haven't got time to do that. So
yeah. I need to definitely focus on that a little bit more. I'm one of those people who design a 6-week program in how I'm going to get back in shape, and it's all really intense and it's all detailed. And I probably spend more time on the spreadsheet than I actually do working out. And then in terms of doing my jobs, right, I'm going to do all of these things in one day. So I can definitely take a lot from that as well.
My friend's a teacher, and I know a lot of. Well, you're a teacher as well, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of teachers get really stressed because they've got so many jobs thrown at them. And what she does is she's so chilled. She has like a traffic light system. So she has a really important jobs that really need to be done, and she puts them in her red. And then she has stuff that could probably wait a couple of weeks, and she puts them in her amber. And then the green stuff is stuff that can wait, and she works through the traffic lights.
Wow.
And I was like, that's a really good idea.
I'm just going to write that down, actually. I'm just going to steal that. Shout out to whoever's idea that was. Yeah.
Yeah, teachers, honestly, I've got so much respect. Like, how are you even doing it from home? Like, that is just absolutely incredible. And I think it's good because a lot of parents have so much respect for you now. I don't even have children, and I'm like, oh no, I couldn't.
I know, yeah. Well, it's definitely taught me a lot about routine and making sure that I organise correctly. And I actually think this sort of stuff that I'm doing now has helped my profession as well, because I'm learning to use mindset, use things such as meditation, exercise, hydration, to try and pull together and make sure actually I can be at my optimal all the time. Because I think we can quite often be in that trap of using coffee as the only fuel that drives us through. and just
Yeah.
working through lists and getting really tired and not looking after the other areas of our life. So yeah, that's one of the
Prosecco to calm your nerves.
Exactly. Yeah, too right. Suppose it's a Friday. Yeah.
Yeah, well, so yeah, that'll calm me.
Well,
I'm not very good at sitting still.
We've done a fantastic job, Sophie. It's been great to
Oh,
have you on our
thank you.
podcast. Just before we go, one last question: where can our listeners find you?
Oh yeah. So I'm on Facebook and my name's Sophie Godson, Godson. Just search me on Facebook, just drop me a message and I'll send you my website, which is www.workoutswithsophie.co.uk. You just click on there, click set up, and then send me a message and I just add you to my private group where you can experience the live fitness classes. And it's for all abilities. It doesn't matter where you are in your life. It doesn't matter where you are with your fitness. Anyone can do it. Just get in touch and you won't regret it.
Yeah, you definitely won't regret it, guys. Make sure you get in touch and you follow Sophie on social media as well. And yeah, take a chance and make that first step and get yourself exercising. It'll benefit your mental health in the long term. Thank you very much for joining me, Sophie.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Watch me not stop though.